Urban Promise here in Wilmington is teaching over 500 youth in the city of Wilmington the growth learning skills, the academic learning skills that they need in order to succeed here in Delaware, as well as leadership skills. And joining us right now is Tim Lewis, who happens to be a teacher with Urban Promise.
Yes.
And also Yesenia Taveras. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for joining us. So Urban Promise, as I mentioned, is helping over 500 inner city youth learning the skills that they need to be successful in life, rather that being in school or if that be in a working environment. So let's get right into Urban Promise.
Sure.
What is Urban Promise?
Yeah, what's Urban Promise? So we're a faith-based nonprofit. We've been around for about 20 years, working in the city. We have various programs. So we have after-school programs. We have an elementary school, a high school. We have a teenage job training program. We have sports programs. We have and in those programs we have like a trekkers program, so you can kind of explore nature.
Okay.
And all these programs exist really just to, just one, to have relationships, and through relationships we try to seek a full life. So we pretty much we see like poverty, we see just we see the issues of the city, and issues that a lot of families that we have relationships with have to face, and it's not full. There's things missing, and we walk alongside our youth, our families, for them to reach their potential, and in hopes to do that. And we were just kind of a stepping stone for them to reach their potential, if that makes sense.
Yes,
so,
definitely.
Yeah.
And it's also known to, I would say their niche market is urban youth. Is that correct? In the city?
Absolutely.
Because as we know, Urban Promise is a national organization.
Yeah.
So this is not the only one of its kind.
Yeah, for sure. We have Urban Promises in Malawi, Uganda, Honduras, and then all over in the U.S. So Miami, some in New Jersey and Arkansas. So. And then, of course, here in Delaware too. So
yeah,
I miss some places. But
I've noticed when I was doing my research. I didn't even know I had a friend that was working at an Urban Promise in California. And I was like, oh wow, this is very
that's cool.
national.
Yeah,
and
sure.
It's really going home for inner city youth kids. It's really teaching them all the skills that they need.
No doubt.
But like you also said, the international partnership that you have.
Yeah.
What does the internship program look like?
Sure. So it's our fellowship program. So we'll have people from, for instance, Malawi, Uganda, who really want to get some skills on how to run a nonprofit, really. Okay. And so they come here, they stay with us for about 2 years. So they got to leave their families 2 years. A lot of these people are, probably leaving fiancés or marriages, right? So they come here for 2 years, leaving their families to learn from our programs. Then they're starting their own schools, they're starting their own nonprofits, after-school programs, shelters, all those things over in their countries too.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Planting the seed, taking a sacrifice, but planting the seed at the same time, and then helping more kids and young adults across the sea.
Absolutely,
so
yeah.
That's amazing.
Sacrifice is huge, absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah. And so we have here with us Yesenia, who is part of the after-school program.
Yes, ma'am. Yep. And our school.
And the school.
Yep.
So let's first talk about the school. What does that look like for you, Yesenia? What are you learning there? How do you like the environment and the kids and the teachers?
I like the teachers a lot because they teach me stuff, and I like the students because they're friendly there and they talk a lot about God.
Oh, that's amazing. And you have a lot of friends there that support you as well? Awesome. What grade are you in?
6.
6. Oh my goodness. You're getting big. You're going to be in 7th and 8th. Middle school's all going to be over. So what are some of the things you've been able to take away from school? Like if there's another kid, 6th grader, that's watching you right now, what can you say to them that's very special about Urban Promise School?
Urban Promise School is nice. They teach us a lot there. When I first went there, I was nervous, but then I got to know everything because everyone was nice to me.
Oh, that's amazing. You see, social skills.
No doubt.
And also, so she's part of the after-school program. What does that look like?
So we have 7 locations all over the city. So kids come to our program. It's a free after-school program that we offer from 3 to 6, Monday through Thursday. Okay. So kids come, they get some tutoring help maybe with homework. They do a lot of fun activities. Okay. We do a lot of stuff even outside of camp. So we do stuff like camp nights where we take kids to like Chuck E. Cheese or like have some fun game nights. We go on spring break trips. So Shania went on a few spring break trips, so she got to get on the plane for the first time and
really
got to
how
see some
was that
cool places.
experience? Where did you go?
Arkansas.
Arkansas. Wow. So they went together as a group?
Yeah, so we took a group of kids, about like 5 or 6 kids on a plane, flew to Arkansas, and got to just experience life outside of, Delaware. So
And that's
real cool.
amazing because unfortunately, some of the inner city youth kids here really never get to experience that.
For sure.
Especially in their young childhood life.
For sure.
Maybe as an adult if they get out of Delaware, but it's amazing to know how many don't even leave Wilmington.
No doubt. No doubt.
And so what was that like for you to be there in a whole another state, flying over? What was that experience like for you?
It was nice because we did a lot of stuff there. We played a lot of games and we had fun.
Climbed the mountain.
You climbed the mountain?
Remember that? How many feet it was?
1,000.
1,000 foot.
Wow. And you made it to the top?
Made it to the top.
Look at that. And so what are you teaching these kids while they're going through these experiences?
Sure. I mean, again, this is all just, they just play to our main role is that we want a full life for them. So teaching them that there's opportunity, that you don't have to just kind of stay focused where you're at, but you understand and have a vision for your own life. And I think that's what it helps them do is like you kind of, when you see, sometimes you just got to see things that have vision for it, And so, if you don't see it, you really don't have vision. So if you can't see college as an opportunity, you may not have a vision for college and say I got to get my good grades so I can have a future beyond school,
Right.
And so
it's very important, like you're saying, to
Yeah.
expand the mental capacity.
No doubt.
If you don't have anyone in your family, or if you don't know what it looks like to actually leave the city of Wilmington limits to go to college, then how do you incorporate that into your belief, right? But here you're actually giving them the opportunity to see that it can happen.
Absolutely. And I'll say this, like Shania, I mean, Shania has a great family. And a lot of families that we serve, they're awesome, And we're fortunate because that's one thing we really, I feel like we pride ourselves on is our relationships with our families. We really know our families. And so, like home visits are a requirement for our after school programs, for instance.
Okay.
When I was working in the after school, I worked in after school programs for about 4 years. And like we were doing home visits every week,
Every week?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
At least every other week.
That's
know what I mean?
great,
So,
because I know on the colonial side, it's like once the first term before Christmas.
Yeah,
So only one time there's a home visit, and then after that, it's like none.
Yeah, I mean, that
that's
connection.
like kindergarten, I think.
Yeah, and that connection is just huge. It's like, and it showed, I know for myself, it showed me a lot, is that there's a lot of strength that exists in these families. A lot of hardship too, so I'm not overlooking the hardship and all those things, but the beauty and the strength that a lot of people have, and I kind of just see. I think it just helps me see, like, we're partnered with these families. You know what I mean? And maybe we can give them some experiences that maybe they weren't able to have on their own. But ultimately, we're a partnership. We're a stepping stone for the vision that the families already have. So Shania has some awesome parents who have a great vision for her, and we're just a platform for Shania to blossom and be, who God created her to be. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
So,
and how does that make you feel that your parents are involved with what you're doing at school? You have teachers like Tim who are involved. How does that make you feel as a student? Is it very important to have people like that in your life?
It makes me feel good and loved.
Oh, that's amazing. And what are some of the benefits you've seen with the interaction with the parents when you go to those home visits?
Yeah, I think huge benefit is just, I would say, the impact it's had on me. Like, and so you kind of come into it kind of thinking, I mean, you hear a lot about, I think it's just like this thing with inner city youth and struggling schools, like parents aren't involved, you know what I mean? And so I think what it showed me a lot, I was impacted. It's like, man, like I can no longer say that like there aren't families and that care, you know what I'm saying? I can't say there aren't parents who care about their children, because they do,
Right.
A lot of things get in the way. There are a lot of struggles and trauma that gets in the way, but I think I've been impacted the most, you know what I'm saying? So like, it's really showed me a lot, you know what I mean?
That's
Like,
wonderful. And we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're also going to speak with another student who is going through the UrbanPromise Academy as well. Awesome. So thank you for coming out today and sharing your experience with us, Shania.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these short messages. More with Urban Promise.
The families in our neighborhoods are really stressed, and they may be missing a father, and they got a mom working a couple jobs, and there's the challenges in the neighborhoods themselves. And you need a network of people that are not just present, but active in building a relationship and allowing it to just develop and exchange what's necessary to become a healthy adult.
Mr. Rob is like a dad to me, personally. He's been there since day one and stuff. He's seen me grow up.
Urban Promise works with about 500 kids year-round pretty intensively. And there are other kids who pass in and out of the programs as they move or exchange. But of 500 kids, we have an elementary school, a high school. We're the largest employer of teens in the city of Wilmington year-round, about 40 kids that work in our job training program. And then we have 6 locations where we run free summer camps, and they are really excellent.
Coming here, it made me kind of feel like I was somebody and that I could do a lot of things. It was kind of fun. We went kayaking, we climbed mountains, we were skipping rocks, we went like kind of fishing because we had to catch the fish with our bare hands, but I was not doing that, so.
It helped me definitely, and it helps kids like Kendall too, because they see leaders like me leading them, and we're not adults. We're just like teenagers, like kids like almost their age, and when they see that we're doing the right thing, oh, if they're doing it, I should be doing it too. So yeah, it's definitely a good place, and I enjoy working here.
A lot of people that come to Urban Promise, they have a sense of family here. Like they feel at home here. I for one do it as well. When they come here, they have a purpose, and they enjoy being here and helping kids and seeing them grow up, and they have a better mentality to do right.
Urban Promise has been sort of a backbone for my life. It has involved me in so many different aspects of life that it allowed me to be able to reach my potential, and in a way that I didn't even know I had the potential to. They were there from when I entered 9th grade all the way to graduating 2 years ago from the University of Delaware. And they were there with me every step of the way during, if there was financial needs, if there was a need for math tutoring and things like that, they were there for me.
I started here when I was 15, and I came in as a street leader. Basically, my nieces and nephews, they were involved in the program, summer camp, and it just looked like something that was along the lines of what I wanted to do as far as working with kids, and I feel that they would prepare me for that. So I got on board, and I think the most impact they've had on me is just offering me a lot of people who invest in my life and who care about me and who want the best for me.
I started as a volunteer, and so it's very important to us as an organization to invite people to come in, not for what they can give, which they certainly can give stuff, but because it will change their lives. It is incredibly valuable to them. And in the process of them being transformed, then they are able to impart resources and experiences that bless our kids and families.
Welcome back to In Focus. I'm your host, Yesenia Taveras, and currently we are discussing the importance of urban promise within our city neighborhoods. Welcome back to the show. We have here with us Tim Lewis, who is a school teacher at Urban Promise, and we also have Brandon Key joining us, who is a student at the Academy. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming. We're going to get right into it. We want to know all about the Academy and what it offers for students. Did you want to talk on the teacher spectrum first, and then we'll talk about the student experience?
Sure. I can just talk about, so when I first got to Urban Promise 5 years ago, I was at University of Delaware, and I had an internship, and so I took it at the Urban Promise Academy, and I just was blown away just by just the commitment of the teachers, and just the environment overall of that place. And so, I think you just have a lot of teachers. So a good friend of mine from college actually started working in the Academy, and he's the one that kept saying, "You got to come check this place out," And so through that's how I got connected with Urban Promise. So. Just some awesome staff there, committed teachers, and I would say most of them have been there for over 5 years. So just continuing in this work, and it's not easy. They're not making bank but they are dedicated and committed to seeing kids be educated and go off to reach their potential too.
And what has that looked like for you, Brandon, to see these dedicated teachers there at your academy?
I mean, I gotta say, like, I am like really thankful and I'm grateful for these teachers because I've never witnessed like teachers that put so much, like, who put so much energy and time and dedication into making sure that we get the best education that we need. And like, I've been to other schools, like my middle school, it wasn't like this. Like, and I'm glad that God has put this in front of me and given me an opportunity and a chance to change who I once was before.
So let's get into that a little bit. What was your transition like?
Well, before I came to the high school, I was at Byron Middle School, and I wasn't the best kid there, but like, cause like I always got in trouble a lot, and I was always in the fighting. But it wasn't because that was something I liked to do. It was just because it was a test from me. It was a test, and I failed that test. I could have walked away and I did it, but I failed it, and I fought anyway. Got in trouble a lot, and then it came down to the threats, and then people threatened to take my life away. So then I stepped out of the school. I got homeschooled for the 8th grade, and then like my sisters, they graduated from the high school a few years ago, and they just were telling me like, yo, you have to go to this school. You have to be here. You gotta go there. It's so much love, so much, just like, it's just so much greatness that is coming out of this school, and you have to be there to experience it. In 9th grade, I was just like, I'll give it a shot. So I go, and all the good rumors that I've heard about the school were all set out to be true. And from in that time, like, I brought a little bit of that person that I was before to the school, but then these teachers, they totally changed who he once was into this better kid.
So they invested in you.
Yes.
And when we say invest, we're not talking financial, we're talking about that committed time to showing you that you don't have to be that person. And what has it done for you? I mean, just listening to your story, that support really hit home for you, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, cause like last year, like I wasn't getting a lot of opportunities. I wasn't granted a lot of opportunities that I am now. Like within this change, I've started to get better grades in school. Within this change, like we went on to spring break trip ourselves, and we flew to Texas, and then drove from Texas to Louisiana, Tennessee, Arkansas, and then back to Texas, which was like, it was all a great time. It was fun. It was so much like bondage. And then like I got to experience like other trips as well. Like we went on so many multiple trips. We went on a few this year. And it's like, if I'd have never changed who I was, like if I would have never changed and continued to be that bad kid, then I don't think I would ever be on any of these trips. I don't even think I would last in the school.
And these aren't like field trips. Like you're taking way more trips that you probably would have had if you would have stayed at the other school.
Way more.
And so let's talk about, and I want to get into, Brandon, your experience, because unfortunately, those who don't live in Wilmington or who are reading reports in the newspapers and things of that nature really think that the inner city youth here are the problem or troublemakers, and that's not the case for all of them. You know, being once rated, you know, the top of the capital for murder states and things like that. So let's talk about your example. I feel like your experience, which you went through, sets an example for that student who is probably down that same path as you. And here you've completely turned your life around. How important is it to have a school like academy like UrbanPromise in our city?
Well, recently I lost my brother due to violence in the city back in July.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. Back in July, and from in that time, like normally the old me, like I wouldn't be this person I am, because like normally I would have so much rage in my heart, I would have so much hatred, but like within the UrbanPromise, they have taught me how to eliminate this negativity. Like you can still be like, they taught me that you can still be upset over the loss of someone that you really loved, but then they also showed me that you can just change all that. Like you can just like not be so angry over this thing and still continue to be this good person that you are. Because like I know that my brother is going to continue to look over me and my sisters and my stepmom and my dad, but I mean, this isn't something that they allow. Like I don't allow this negativity to sit on, to show for everybody. I always keep it locked away, and then I'm just so thankful for them because they were always there with me and my family since, you know, since we first heard about it. Like they've always been calling, checking on us, making sure we're good, always asking if we needed something. They were always right there with us. They was like, always by our sides throughout the whole thing. And it's just grateful for me because now I got not only family that are just like all here together, but we have other people who are like family that are there with us.
And Brandon, having gone through that experience, you're now helping other kids. You're a street leader.
Yes.
And it sounds like you've really learned how to manage your emotions, having attended the Urban Promise Academy. So let's talk a little bit about how you've been able to transition your emotions and learning that aspect of life to now teaching another young child.
It's actually crazy that you brought that situation up because that recently just happened a few weeks ago. One of my kids was in the same situation that I was once in. He got into a little altercation with another student in school. And I got off the bus and then I walked to the store, but he was coming my direction. So I seen him that he was upset. So I'm like, yo, what's going on? Well, what happened? He didn't want to tell me. So I was like, just take a walk with me. Let's walk to the store and head to camp. He was just like, okay. So we walked and I'm like, all right, go ahead, talk to me a little about what happened in school. He was like, well, I got into something with a kid and then I don't know how this is going to affect what's going to happen when I get to camp. Like, will I go get sent home or will I stay? So I was just giving him tips like on how he can just channel like and erase all of this negative vibes that he's feeling into something positive. So we were walking and now we're on our way to camp, following the group of kids we were with, and like I was just telling him like I was in the same situation you were in, and you don't have to allow something like that affect who you are, right. Because no matter what, this negative vibe, that's not going to get you far. It's only going to stop what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So if you erase all this negativity, you're going to continue to push and you're going to continue to follow your dream and can accomplish whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was witnessing, I was looking as his face went from this frown and all balled up to just with a smile as soon as he got to camp. Mm-hmm. And we prayed about it, and as soon as we get to camp, like he still had this fear in his heart like he was going to get sent home and not be able to come back for a couple of days, but that didn't happen. Within that time we talked and prayed, he ended up staying and he was still coming back the next day. And I asked him, how was your day in school? And he was telling me, like, yeah, I stayed home because I got suspended, but I didn't allow that suspension or that fight stop me from what I did, all because you've helped me get through this.
Wow, so you're a pivotal person. You really changed the course for that young person. And not only that, your decision has changed the course for you as well, because let's face it could have been detrimental. It could have completely went left field.
Yeah.
And you could have gotten in worse trouble and things of that nature, but you took that opportunity to change your life around, and then in return, you helped someone else change their life around. And perspective is everything. Mindset, as we were talking about earlier, is everything. And here through this program and the academy, you're really instilling these leadership skills into these students.
Sure.
Talk to us a little bit about that. What else does Street Leader Program teach these kids?
Yeah, so just a little bit about the Street Leader Program. So we hire teenagers to come work in our after-school programs. So it's a job training program. So you are just learning. You have responsibilities in camp. So you're normally over a group of students, and there are different levels in leadership in the Street Leader Program. So some high schoolers are over other high schoolers. You're kind of like the supervisor, and it kind of goes down to that. So, but ultimately, like Brandon said, like you're hired because you can be an impact to your street, to your neighborhood and your community. And it's exactly what happened. He gets off the bus in his neighborhood and sees another kid that goes to his camp in the same neighborhood, right? And now he's able to impact him in a positive way that leads to life and not fighting and all those things. But yeah, we get to hire close to about 80 street or teenagers, high schoolers, throughout the year. Our size is double in the summer camp, so we have summer camps as well.
Okay.
They're affordable, free summer camps, and so we hire even more high schoolers to come and work with us. And
that's amazing. And is it paid too? They get paid while they're
paid,
mentoring and teaching other kids?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
So how important is that for you to not only learn the social skills and emotional skills that you're learning, but also getting paid and employed as a teenager?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's always a good thing for us teens, because like now it's like the start of us being more independent for what we do. because like normally like we want to like show like even like we want to show like this is something that we want to show to our parents. Like, okay, it may be an opportunity and a time for us to like lean on you if we need a little bit of help, but like this is also to show like we can handle this and we got this, and you know, this is something for us teens to like actually something for us to help out our parents even if they need it. Like, okay, we out here making our own money, y'all are out there doing your own thing, but as soon as going to come an opportunity and a time for us to need to collide and put it all together to start something new, do something different.
Right.
So, but working along in the summer camp with the kids and working as a street leader like for after school, and I mean it's just fun. It's a good opportunity. It's a good way for the kids to impact you and for you to also return the favor and impact them.
And what could you share with that young teenager who might be thinking of an alternative or a different kind of way of making money, but here you're doing it the honest way and you're also helping other young adults, young children. What could you share with that young person that's looking at you like, man, this guy really changed his life around and he's doing things the honorable way? What can you share with us?
I would just say, like, you know, no matter what, like even if you've not did so well in your past, just pray about it and just look past, like just put that behind you and look forward. Mm-hmm. Don't look back. Please don't look back, because when you look back, then some of that is going to follow you for the rest of your life. So just don't worry about what's behind you. Worry about only what's in front of you. If you didn't do good well in your last job, Urban Promise has a huge opportunity, and it's really accepting a lot of more street leaders to join our team, because we want to build this community in Christ. We want to build. We don't need to keep it so little and just allow everybody else to just do whatever they do. We want to involve as much people as possible so we can help rebuild what's been broken.
Awesome. And there's so many other things. Thank you so much, Brandon, for sharing that with us. And we are running out of time, but I was going to say there's so many other things that Urban Promise does. They partner with a lot of corporations as well. They do service days on the weekends. Anything you would like to share with us before we go in regards to whoever would want to volunteer with the programs here, want to get involved with students like Brandon?
Yeah, sure. I mean, shout outs to Capital One. They've been that's just the first group that comes to my mind, an organization that partners with us greatly and has done a lot with us to help us out. But yeah, we need volunteers. We need help, like in so many ways, you know. And so, being a nonprofit, we don't have all the funds, and so people who come are just a vital part of us. We can't do this alone. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, the more people we have trying to really getting together to put a dent in, you know, just the issues that we see, you know, and really make a difference. We just have an easy way to do that here, you know. Right. So, yeah, please sign up. You can go to our website, urbanpromise.org, and click Get Involved, and yes, just start from there. So, yeah, please. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Tim.
Thank you.
And Brandon, thank you so much for being honest with us and sharing your testimony. I'm pretty sure it's going to hit home for a lot of kids here in the city as well. So thank you. Yeah. And best of luck. I know you're a 10th grader, soon to be graduating in 2 years. So
can't wait.
Continue moving forward like you have been. I'm pretty sure you have a promised future as well.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, definitely.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, gentlemen.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And on behalf of all of us here at WITN 22, I'm your host, Yesenia Taveras, and I'd like to say thank you so much for watching.